Good afternoon and welcome to Northport, a view from here. My name is Gene Matthews and I'll be your host today. Today's topic is a rather dynamic one, and of course we're going to be talking about economic development within the city of Northport. With us today we have Carol Cunningham, who is the city's economic development person who manages economic development within the city. And we also have some private contractors that are here today. We have Jonathan Baltek from KEB, better known as Bobcat Trail, and also Tony Wright from Northport, it's not Chamber of Commerce, it's
Park of Commerce.
Park of Commerce, there you are. And we're going to start off with Carol Cunningham, who's going to give us a brief explanation of what economic development really is. Carol?
For Northport, economic development means a contribution to the quality of life that the people of Northport have been trying to achieve and maintain. Economic development contributes to the quality of life by helping to diversify the tax base and provide high-paying jobs so that people can live and work near their homes and have a strengthened economy. Our economic development efforts are really broad-ranging then within that context of contributing to the quality of life.
Is because we're new in this process, is the job overwhelming?
No, not really at all. In fact, this is a very exciting time for me to step into this position. People in Northport have been working together for a long time to plan for their community, to plan for the community's growth, and have been working very hard to position the community so that it has a good economic development competitive edge. And this is a very exciting time. Lots of things are happening, and it's enabled me to work with these gentlemen as some of the developers in the community, and we're making things happen.
Could you maybe just a little overview of what your job entails? Because, as I say, economic development is a large process, and maybe the folks out there, the viewing public, would better understand it if they knew what processes you have to go through on a daily basis.
Well, primarily, I believe that my job entails building partnerships and making good matches, helping to match businesses that are interested in relocating here to Northport with the assets that we have to offer and with the developments and parcels that are available. We build partnerships within the community. We're working toward getting a marketing partnership built among some of our major developers and utility providers and the City of Northport and the Chamber of Commerce to do some joint marketing to let the rest of the world know that Northport is here and it's an exciting place to come and live and bring a business. So partnership building, marketing. I work a lot internally to be sure that as a government we can deliver on the promises that we make when people come and say, how quickly can I get through your permit process, that kind of thing. There are many dimensions to it. We also work very closely with other jurisdictions and other entities that are involved in economic development, because what's good for us is good for the county and the region and vice versa.
Yeah, with the industry, the increase in the tax base when industry comes, I'm sure there are plenty of communities that are out there looking for it. What kind of businesses are we looking for, and how do they get in touch with us, or how do you get in touch with them?
Well, we have a number of ways of doing that. First of all, we of course would like very much to have corporations and industries that bring in high-paying jobs to our community and that also contribute to the tax base. We would love to see corporate headquarters, high-tech industries, but we're also very well situated to capture a lot of manufacturers and people with distribution needs. Mm-hmm. And as we'll talk later in the program about the Northport Park of Commerce, that is ideally located for a whole variety of types of businesses. But our emphasis is on businesses that bring good, high-paying jobs that people of Northport and the surrounding area would like to have in their community.
Mm-hmm. Prior to coming to the city of Northport, you had your own consulting business, and you had worked for a long time in Lee County on economic development. And why did you come here?
Well, a number of reasons. One is that I live near Northport and have settled there permanently. Another is that I was looking for an opportunity for myself to be able to use my skills in building a program for a community that, and I found Northport to be a really exciting and energetic place to be. People have worked together for a long time, as I mentioned, to plan their community. There's a great commitment on the part of the city towards economic development. And all the ingredients are there for success. I think Northport is doing the right things. As a community, it's making investments in itself. It's planning itself to preserve quality of life and provide for economic development. And it's a place where success is something that we are all working together to achieve and is within our reach.
The reason I asked that question is that ever since I've been doing this show, I ask everybody the same question. I'm going to be asking them later. And the answer invariably comes back because it's an opportunity to do something positive and to see a community grow and to help that community grow. So, yeah,
absolutely.
That's... Tony, it's Northport, I can never get that straight, Park of
Commerce.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Tony. Where is it located and what kind of zoning do you have in there?
Actually, the Northport Park of Commerce is located just a half mile from the Toledo Blade I-75 interchange. Actually, we own the property along Toledo Blade, as I mentioned, just a half a mile from that interchange. And it runs pretty much, we've got 4,200 lineal feet of frontage along Toledo Blade. Actually, we bought the property originally, it was all zoned ILW, which is light industrial. We went through a complete rezoning of the property to include uses from really light industrial through commercial. We really envision, because of the proximity to the interstate, plus what KEB with the Panacea project's got going on across the street from our project, that it will have a nice mixture of commercial, office professional, and light industrial uses. So we did go through a complete rezoning, and our current designation is called a planned community development, which basically includes all those types of end uses.
With 4,200 feet on Toledo Blade, is there any special consideration being given to buffeting?
Oh, most definitely. Actually, yeah, we were required, and really what we did was we presented a landscaping plan to the city of Northport that far exceeded the code requirements for landscaping plantings, and we basically have used that philosophy throughout all of our developments, primarily in Collier County, to give it more of an upscale image, because, as you know, being so close to the interstate, that is one of the gateways into the community, and we wanted to make sure whatever we put out there certainly gave the presence and the image that that we wanted to convey to not only Northport, but to anybody that may be using the Toledo Blade corridor.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a short break now. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Have you seen Northport lately? Take a minute and take a look.
We really do enjoy nature, and we found it all here, right in our own backyard. Love fishing and boating on the Mayaca. You never know what you might see out there. We toured the whole state of Florida and found that Northport had everything that we wanted.
There's a lot of natural beauty, and there's a lot of wildlife here. I love the open spaces, and I love the quiet.
If you're intrigued by what you just saw, pay us a visit, and you'll see a lot more.
Welcome back to the second segment of Northport, A View from Here. As you know, we're talking about economic development. We're going to go back to Tony Wright. Tony, what kind of industries or businesses are in your Commerce Park of Commerce now?
Well, actually, we're in the process of putting the infrastructure in for 98 acres that we purchased in January, meaning the roads, water, sewer, water retention. So that particular parcel is undeveloped at this point in time, scheduled for completion here in October or November. Despite that fact that the property is not fully developed yet, we've had a tremendous amount of interest. We've actually already have put under contract 14 of our 44 lots that we have platted in the Northport Park of Commerce. Since then, we also purchased the Northport Industrial Park, which is an adjacent parcel. There was 6 remaining lots in the Northport Industrial Park, and those lots already have the infrastructure in the roads, water, and sewer. The businesses that have purchased property from us, I mean, really vary in types of usage. We are doing a 15,000 square foot building for a company called Atlantic Teleconnect that's currently located in Punta Gorda. They manufacture data cables and fiber optics. We've sold property to a company called Raymond Building Supply, a big outfit that's headquartered out of Northport Myers. They purchased approximately 7 acres of property from us that really they are looking at this area as a great distribution point for them to service both the north and southwest markets of Florida. Also, we've have sold to a developer that's going to be putting professional office space in. He's going to start out with 12,000 square feet, but his project will be a total of 36,000 square feet of upscale office product. We've also sold a parcel to a developer that's in the C-store oil business. You know, again, because of the proximity to the interstate, we think that's a great site for him. And we're also looking to do, personally, our company, Arnold Development Companies, is looking to put up a 36,000 square foot office warehouse facility, which is we view as our flex space. Where basically,
and you will lease that out?
Yes, we will lease that out, and we've already got 10,000 square feet of that leased, and a lot of it is that type of space is catering to really the residential growth and explosion in the Northport area.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You all must have plans for down the road, 1-, 3-, and 5-year plans. What do you see in the future for Toledo Blade Corridor, your particular project?
Boy, I tell you, we wish actually that we had the opportunity to purchase some more property in the Northport area. We really envisioned initially when we were looking at Northport that our project, the Northport Park of Commerce and the Northport Industrial Park, was going to take us anywhere between 5 and 7 years to build out. We really think our projections now, we're looking to approximately have both of those properties built out in a 2 to 3 year time frame. Really, who I need to talk to is here Mr. Baltage. They seem to have all the property in Northport, particularly along the Toledo Blade Corridor, and we're actively looking for more opportunities in the area.
Jonathan, Bobcat Trail is a very aggressive and active developer in the area. You've put up the Bobcat Trail golf course, and the community is going along well. All I see is moving trucks and carpenters and so on and so forth. But now across the street from your Bobcat Trail, you're putting up something else. Could you explain that to us?
Yes, Gene. Originally, when we bought the Bobcat Trail property, we had intended to across the street develop the Bobcat Village Center, and that has begun now. It's about a 50-acre office park designed as a very high-end product. It's got a beautiful front entrance. It'll have the feel of entering a housing subdivision, but it'll be instead an office park. All of the buildings are going to be built in the Boca Grande style of architecture with the metal roofs and the clapboard siding. And additionally, there's also a 250-unit high-end rental complex that's breaking ground July 20th that also enters through the main entrance of the Bobcat Village Center. At this time, we have all of the roads, water, and sewer going in. It'll be finished in about 120 days. KEB is building their corporate offices, which we're moving from Arkansas to Northport, Florida, because we're so high on the area and think it's such a great area to be in. So we have a 6,000 square foot building under construction now, which we expect to move into in September. And we have another 20,000 square feet of lease space that is in development and should begin to be ready to be occupied by January. To date, we've got an attorney that's going in. We've talked to a dentist, chiropractor, professional people. We've got a couple of other companies that are looking to put their corporate offices in there. And it will cater primarily to professionals and some retail business. We do have a shopping center site, and we are working with some shopping center developers to attract a food store, hopefully one of the major chains in there, to service all of the residential development that's going on in that marketplace. So we're real excited about the Bobcat Village Center, which is only part of our commercial development. As Tony had mentioned, we also own the 2,300-acre Panacea site, which we've just broken ground on Lakeside Plantation, which is another 800-unit housing development, which will open in December. And with all of the housing that's going on and with all of the industrial product that the Park of Commerce is putting in, we also have industrial and commercial sites available on Panacea with about 13,000 feet on I-75 and about 7,500 feet on Toledo Blade. We have that presence on I-75, and that interchange will begin to be developed later this year with your typical gas station, food, hotels type sites. And then there's lands there for about 1 million square feet of commercial with all types of distribution. And to piggyback a little bit on what Carol was saying, what's so important to Northport about this commercial development is it brings jobs, it brings stability in the tax base, and commercial puts less burden on the infrastructure of the city than any other type of development. Businesses don't go to school, businesses don't use a lot of the facilities, yet they're paying the taxes for those. So it's very important for Northport to diversify its tax base and provide jobs for people then who can live in the city. So it's a great synergistic relationship, and you know, the Northport Park of Commerce is doing an incredible job of bringing in the types of businesses that we need to have.
Yeah, so you're basically an office complex as well as some housing over there, and Tony does industrial type development.
At the moment, we do actually have large pieces available on the Panacea track for industrial and distribution, which we will be developing or possibly developing with people and company like Tony's. But that whole area, as he had mentioned, the piece they have will be sold out within 2 to 3 years because there's such a need for that type of product. One other thing, and you know, we all sort of compete for some of the same business, although we're a bit synergistic, but we have a great relationship. I know that our two companies are working right now on adopting the median as you get off of I-75 to create another gateway to the city of Northport where we can go ahead and irrigate it and landscape it, and we're going through all that permitting process right now, and Tony's company and our company have agreed to split the cost on that and to go ahead and make it a real attractive appearance as you come into Northport, so that's something we can all be proud of.
I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to hear that. What do you see down the road 1, 3, 5 years from now for KEB and Bobcat and Panacea property, although you've covered a good bit of it?
Well, we're, you know, I guess I said, we're very high on Northport. To date, our company's made about a $40 million investment in Northport, and that is only going to continue to grow. And we've made that investment for a number of reasons. We think that Northport is standing on the beach with the wave crashing on it, the wave of development and the wave of growth, good quality growth. Sarasota is really built out for the most part, except for some pockets, and Cape Coral and Fort Myers are built out in a large way, and that growth is really combining and crunching on the Northport market. And the City Commission and the City Fathers in Northport have been really visionaries and have had a lot of foresight in promoting good, clean development, good, clean industry, and have been requiring everyone to do things the right way, which we like to do, but at the same time allowing you to get development done. And that's going to really be the focus of making Northport grow. And in the next 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised to see Northport a city of 30 to 35,000 people and a very dynamic city at that.
Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah.
It just seems like you're going to blink your eye and Toledo Blade is going to be a fait accompli. Once again, we have to take a short break, and we'll be back with segment 3 in a moment.
There's a rumor that small-town America has all but disappeared.
Life is great, Northport.
Northport is the last Mohican. This is the place. This is going to be the last undeveloped region. The city government itself is so pro-growth, and it's just like everything is in the right place at the right time for Northport. They're very open-minded, they're very honest, and they're very fair.
Disappeared? You've just seen evidence to the contrary. We call it Northport.
Welcome back to the third segment and final segment of Northport, A View from Here. We had left off with Jonathan Baltek giving his impressions of existing conditions on Toledo Blade and what's planned for the future. When I came to the studio today, I spoke with Tony Wright, and he had mentioned something about a smart park. Tony, could you explain what smart park is?
Sure. Our area is actually serviced as far as telecommunication needs through GTE. And they actually approached us about 4 or 5 months ago to take a look at our development there and to see if we were interested in joining a relationship with them to designate our park as what they call a GTE Smart Park. The GTE Smart Park is sort of a new concept, particularly for southern Sarasota County, but it's real prevalent in Hillsborough County Market, Pinellas Market, and even greater Sarasota County. But really what a smart park is that GTE makes a capital investment into our infrastructure to basically wire our whole park to accommodate high telecommunication users in fiber and copper uses. And boy, I tell you, we were really pleased to have them as a partner and for them to have confidence in us as developers, for them to make that capital investment. But I think really their overall decision was indicative of their confidence in the Northport market and the growth in the area.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Carol, the City Commission has placed a very high priority on economic development. I guess the hiring of you kind of capped that off and made it so, if you will. But what makes companies want to come to Northport? What is it that we have that they want? And you know, everything from utilities to transportation to whatever the fields are.
Well, there are a lot of reasons why companies make a decision to relocate in a particular place. And fortunately, Northport has a lot of the assets that companies are looking for. Quality of life, of course, is a very important asset, which I'd like to talk about in a minute. But location is extremely important. And Northport is located, has 14.5 miles of I-75 within its incorporated limits and 2 freeway interchanges. And if I can point to the map over here, I'd like to illustrate the area that we've been talking about where Panacea and the Northport Park of Commerce are located and the Bobcat Trail. This is I-75. This is the outlines of the city of Northport. I-75 passing through Northport's incorporated limits. And we have 2 major north-south corridors, one from Sumter Boulevard down to US 41 and Toledo Blade Boulevard and down to the city limits, which are just before US 41. The Toledo Blade corridor is what we've been focusing on today. And as you can see, this is prime located land. This is the Northport Park of Commerce. This is Panacea, Bobcat Trail, down here, Bobcat Trail and Bobcat Village. This intersection is approximately midway between, say, the Southwest International Airport, Southwest Florida International Airport in Fort Myers, and the Sarasota Bradenton International Airport is approximately 45 minutes drive. Tampa Airport is just under 2 hours. You can get to almost any major point of distribution from this location in Northport easily, and we're finding that companies are very interested in that location. Not only that, this is an area that employees that make up the workforce can get to their jobs easily, and even though the map doesn't indicate it, we not only have our workforce here in Northport, but the Toledo Blade corridor reaches way down into Charlotte County and makes it possible for people from quite a large region around this point to reach there easily, to buy homes in the area, to come and work in these businesses. The location, though, is just one feature. The land cost has been less. The city's fees are less than most of the surrounding areas, and we have a wonderful quality of life here that I think helps the community sell itself.
What's the bottom line for the taxpayer with the economic development? What does it mean for the taxpayer?
For the taxpayer resident
living in Northport now.
It means a great deal. It means that the burden of paying for services that serve the entire community is much more broadly shared. It no longer falls heavily on the shoulders of the residential community, but the business community through their property taxes, through commercial activity with additional sales taxes that filter back into the community. It helps spread the burden, and that's what we mean when we talk about diversifying our tax base.
So if we stayed with residential development, in essence, the city would either be very heavily taxed or go bankrupt.
Well, yes, and for people to get the level of service they're looking for, economic development is the way communities choose to balance their economy so that they can pay for this high quality of living.
The program is so short and the topic is so large that I know that we're not going to be able to, even scratch the surface of economic development on this program. But even the outside world is starting to notice Northport. And there was a magazine came out, Q32, as a ranking. Q doesn't sound like it's great as a ranking. It's almost at the end of the alphabet, but perhaps you could explain what it is.
Well, Outlook magazine designated Northport as among the Q32 cities, and that is 32 cities that were chosen across the country based on a number of criteria as being high quality of life communities.
So Q stands for quality?
Yes, Q stands for quality. And that quality of life is very important to Northport. Northport is an area where we have lots of room to grow, but the growth is planned. And again, looking at this map, we have activity centers planned in the city where new growth is concentrated and planned to be well integrated. And the entire community itself will continue to develop its cohesiveness around our new middle high school, for which ground was just broken a few weeks ago, and Performing Arts Center that goes along with that.
Okay, thank you very much. We're running out of time, as you can imagine, and just as a rundown of what's going to be in our next months, is we're going to have the Venice Foundation here. The Venice Foundation has been an organization that has had tremendous positive impact, not only in Northport, but in all of South County. So thank you very much for viewing, and we'll see you next month.
Have you seen Northport lately? Take a minute and take a look.
We really do enjoy nature, and we found it all here, right in our own backyard. Love fishing and boating on the Mayaca. You never know what you might see out there. We toured the whole state of Florida and found that Northport had everything that we wanted.
There's a lot of natural beauty, and there's a lot of wildlife here. I love the open spaces, and I love the quiet.
If you're intrigued by what you just saw, pay us a visit, and you'll see a lot more.